This article is about tribalism and how each of you might fit into the various tribes that we belong to. Let's think about how they influence us, for better and for worse. Are you thinking that you don't belong to a tribe? Let's discuss it and see. Are you a free bitch? Like Lady Gaga say she is? Well, let's see. What is a tribe? It is a social division in a society. What is a society? It is an aggregate of people living together in community. Okay, good. Now that we know what a tribe is, please think about what tribes you belong to. Forgive me for the long list, but I want to drive home some things that perhaps you have not considered. Are you Asian? Are you African? Are you Eastern European? Are you Western European? Are you Middle Eastern? Are you South American? Are you North American? Perhaps you are Central American. Or are you a Pacific Islander? Are you a Californian? Are you from Georgia? Are you Native American? Which state tribe are you part of? Are you Catholic? Are you a Protestant? Perhaps you are a Muslim. Or you may be a Buddhist. Maybe you are an atheist. Or a Sikh. Are you a Democrat? Are you a Republican? Are you a Libertarian? Or are you a Socialist? Maybe Communist, perhaps. Are you a country music fan? Are you a classic music fan? Maybe, grunge is your favorite. Are you a sports fan? Maybe you prefer to follow reality TV. Do you drive a pickup truck, or do you drive a Mercedes? How much melanin does your skin have? A lot. Medium. Not much. Are you wealthy? Are you poor? Are you blue collar? Or do you wear a white collar? Which clubs do you belong to? And of course all of us belong to the tribe called our family. As you might see by now by the partial list above, we here on this planet have quite a few tribes. Many more exist of course, but I think you see the point. There may also be tribes beyond this planet, many people think there are, but that will be left for another day. Are you beginning to wonder what the hell is the point of all this? If he doesn't get to it soon, I'm going to go do something else. So here we go. Be aware of what tribe you belong to and how they influence you. Have you ever noticed how a fan of country music presents themselves differently than a fan of rock and roll? More importantly, if a person is a big fan of, say, hard rock, and then changes to country western, they typically will change the way they look and to some extent act. Think about it and see if you can remember when this might have happened to you. When you went from the tribe of high school into the workplace tribe, did you change? When you went from the single tribe to the married tribe, did you change? For those of you who are now parents, I know that this new tribe changed you. For a moment consider yourself at the center of a clear glass sphere. Just floating there in space. Are you there? Just floating there. Okay, good. Now imagine thousands of spots on the surface of the sphere, like stars in the sky. Now let's imagine that each of those dots have strings between you and them. Some are thick strings, and some are quite thin. Do you now feel like you're caught in a web, with strings everywhere? So many, you can't count them. I'm sure you've realized that the spots represent the tribes you belong to and the strings are your connection to them. The thick strings can pull on you more than the thin ones can. Please think about some of the strings as a dark rusty drab reddish color, while other are a brilliant violet color. The drab ones pull wellness and happiness from you, while the violet ones feed you with strength and love. If it was so easy to see which are which in your life, would you not simply cut the rusty bonds? This takes great discernment and sometimes great courage to decipher. Great trusted tribes such as family, country, religion, or other organizations that you are part of can have negative influence on you? If so, it is best to either change the group, or cut your ties with it. It can be an extremely sad and hard thing to cut ties with tribes so close, like family for instance. But sometime the connection needs to be changed for your own wellness. Groups of friends is also hard to leave. But if the group is bent on destruction, then best to leave and start again. If you find that things are not how you like them to be, examine the tribes in your life that influence you and support only those that truly uplift you. I guarantee if you do this, your journey through life will improve in time. Remember that you are the center of the sphere that influences your journey. You have the ultimate control. Before we end this article with a vision of hope, I would like to mention a point about the judgment of others. My hope is to illustrate why it is wrong to judge, even the wicked among us. We all do this, judge others. However, the next time you see someone that does a thing that you just can't agree with, consider that they too have their own sphere of influence. Perhaps they do not realize what is actually influencing them. Of course, they too need to use discernment. Poor decisions on their part will still need to be corrected as society dictates. With jail, or fines or rejection etc., hopefully, this will help them cut ties that drove them to do evil. As for us individually, consider what the Christ said. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. Now, let's conclude with a vision of hope. Go back to your imagination. Imagine that all people live in a sphere of influence, as you do. Imagine that all people have only violet strings within their sphere. Imagine that all the spheres are connected with violet strings. This is the image of heaven. Is it not? Peace and goodwill to all. Remember to choose only your best tribes.